Hello and welcome to Bike Talk, and today we're going to be replacing a Hope Freehub Body, a Shimano 105 cassette and a new chain. This is for the home mechanic. Having given the chain a quick wipe down, I used a Park Tool Master Link plier to break the quick link on the chain. The next procedure is to use a Park Tool chain whip and a 24mm ring spanner to remove the cassette. The locking ring can be tight. And here we are now, just removing the extraction tool and that locking ring. And carefully remove each individual sprocket. They can actually get jammed, and I'll show you what to do next if that is the case. Again, using a screwdriver you can get underneath. But in this case, nothing wants to move because the splines are really heavily worn. And if you look carefully, the sprocket is actually out of line now on the spline shaft. So if we get a small punch and give it a gentle tap, it will start to unlock the sprocket off this Freehub body. And then we repeat the process, a gentle tap, it breaks that lock and it will lift away with your fingers. And again, under close inspection, you can see why it does not want to come apart. The cassette is made out of much harder material, and over time it cuts itself into the softer aluminium, which I'll show you later on. So just keep removing each sprocket and the spacer one by one, and eventually you come to the body, which will hold all three sprockets together as one piece. It's always a good idea to give things a clean, because you can get right behind the places you can never normally reach here. And for those of you with OCD, you can't beat getting the toothbrush right in there. And with a pair of pinch nose pliers, just remove the end cap. This gives you access now to the Freehub body to remove it. And if you see how easy that comes out, it's one straight pull. It can be quite a dirty affair as well on the inside with all the grease. And next we have to clean out inside the hub itself. Just a gentle wipe with the oily rag. Be careful and take note of that spacer, you'll need that later on. So here we have the new Freehub body and the old one. Just look how much wear is on the spline shaft. The new one is a metal body, a steel body, and the original one is an aluminium body. So let's just weigh them because I could feel quite a marked difference. The new one is over 170 grams. And the old one came in at 90 grams, so that's quite a marked difference. So let's put that spacer washer back in there, and always give things a nice bit of grease around the surfaces. Again, here on the pawls, I like to give them a little touch of my own bit of grease there. I also give it a bit of grease internally and around the through axle. You don't want too much grease in there, you just want a nice coating to cover all them moving surfaces. And then just refit the Freehub body. It will go in there, just turn it slightly anti-clockwise and it will click in. This next seal can be a tricky affair to fit, and there will be a tool available from Hope to fit it correctly. On this occasion I fitted it by hand and tapped it gently with a punch. Then I give everything a quick wipe around. As you can see now, everything is all in place and ready for the next part of the process, where I give things a little extra grease in just to keep the rain out and the water out. Then refit that end cap. Now here I'm using some copper slip. And this is like a fitting paste, it's an anti-seizure compound. I like to use this and it stops things completely seizing together. So before we fit the new cassette, have a look at the Freehub body and familiarise yourself with the shape and the profiles that are machined into it. So this splined Freehub body has various shapes machined into it, and you're looking for the smallest notched part, which is the one I've just pointed to. This will be the reference point for refitting. So have a look at the cassette, and the first three all come attached to the same assembly. It is also machined to allow spacing for the next sprocket. And then when you fit the next sprocket, the number has to face outwards and it goes straight up against the other three. Then you need a spacer. Then you can fit the next sprocket, then the next spacer, move forward and repeat the process. But the final few sprockets actually have a shoulder built in that acts like a spacer. And the final lock ring clamps up against all of the assembly, and you'll need to tighten that up, ideally with a torque wrench, but in this case I used the ring spanner and tightened it up quite firmly. So the next stage, we get the old chain and the new chain side by side, and then we find where the appropriate link is, where we can break the chain with a Park Tool chain breaker. And finally, we refit the chain with a new speed link. Make sure you pay attention to the arrows and indications given in the instructions. I normally look at the writing on the chain as a guide. Then we finally put the bike on the ground and push down on the crank to click into place the speed link. And as a side note, the Hope kit comes with a spacing ring if you're going to run a 9 or 10 speed cassette. In this case I didn't need it because I was on an 11 speed setup. And whilst we're on the subject of bike talk, check out some of my other videos where I've reviewed BB30 press fits, Continental Gator Skins versus Vittoria Rubino Pros, how to fix internal bike rattle noises, the truth about Shimano Dura Ace 9000 cassettes.
What a load of poop.
And I've done quite a few reviews on Lesine lights and high-speed descending in the dark. And not forgetting how to remove scratches from your best carbon cranksets. It'll also help to polish and finally, preparing your bike for the Jog, Joggle or the NC 500. But if you like my bike talk videos, let me know and I'll make some more for you. And thank you for watching.